Sweet, spicy, smoky. That's what makes jambalaya unforgettable. This classic Louisiana one-pot rice dish is packed with bold flavor and just about any protein you can imagine. Chicken, andouille sausage, shrimp, pork, ham, even oysters or crab. Every cook has their own version. This one is Creole because we're using tomatoes. Jambalaya actually traces back to Spanish paella, and just like paella, every cook guards their secrets. Today I'm showing you mine. Let's get cooking. To make sausage and shrimp jambalaya, you will need 1 onion, 1 rib celery, 1 red bell pepper, 4 to 5 garlic cloves, 4 to 5 green onions, 1 bunch Italian parsley, 1 1/4 pound andouille or Cajun sausage, 1 pound peeled and deveined shrimp. Tails on are okay. I'm going to show you how to remove them easily. 1 1/2 cups long grain white rice, 2 tablespoons vegetable oil, 1 tablespoon Cajun Spice Blend. You can use a store-bought brand or easily make your own using the recipe I've provided in the description. 1/4 teaspoon ground cloves, 1 to 2 bay leaves depending on size, 1 28-ounce can crushed tomatoes, and 4 cups low-sodium chicken broth. The equipment you will need are a heavy 7 to 8 quart Dutch oven with a tight-fitting lid and a food processor optional. We're going to finely mince the main vegetables, so you could also do this by hand if you don't have a processor. Cut the end off the onion and slice it in half through the root. Peel both halves. Trim off the root ends and finish cutting into quarters. Place the quarters into a large bowl. Trim off the ends of the celery and cut into 4 or 5 pieces. Add to the bowl. Slice the top off the red pepper and set aside. Cut and then pull the core out of the center of the pepper. Now cut the pepper into 8 pieces, following right along the membrane. This will expose the membrane, making it easy to slice out. After all the membranes are removed, add the pieces to the onion and celery. If you watched our gumbo video, you will remember that this combination of onion, celery, and pepper is called the Holy Trinity, and the starting base for almost all Cajun, Creole, and New Orleans dishes. This time we are using the sweeter red pepper instead of green to play off the sweetness of the shrimp. Now cut pieces off the top of the pepper, remove the membrane, and add to the bowl. Peel all the garlic cloves and add to the bowl. Trim the tips of the green onions as needed and then slice up just the green parts. Place into a small bowl. Pull off enough of the parsley leaves to make about a 1/2 cup size pile. Now finely mince by putting your point end of the knife on the board and running your knife through the pile. You should end up with about 2 tablespoons of finely minced parsley. Add to the green onions. The size you cut the andouille sausage is up to you. I first cut it in half lengthwise and then cut it crosswise into about 1/4 inch wide pieces. This results in the andouille being more evenly distributed throughout the rice, but you can cut it in whole rounds or a little more than a 1/4 inch thick if you like. However you decide to cut the sausage, cut all of it approximately the same size and put it into a large bowl. The tails can be easily removed from the shrimp by holding just above the tail with one hand and squeezing the tail shell and pulling with the other. The shrimp will slide right out without leaving any meat behind in the tail. After removing all the tails, you can leave the shrimp whole or cut in thirds or halves. I'm going to cut mine in half. If you decide to cut your shrimp, cut them all the same size. Once your shrimp are prepped, place them in a bowl, cover, and keep refrigerated until ready to add toward the end of cooking. Set up your food processor with the blade attachment. Add the onion, celery, pepper, and garlic to the food processor bowl. Hit pulse 4 times for 1 second each and then stop. Scrape down the bowl. Now pulse just 4 or 5 more times until you have a fine mince. You do not want a puree, so don't overprocess. Scrape the minced vegetables into a bowl. Pour the rice into a mesh strainer and rinse until the water runs clear. Set aside. Heat the oil over medium-high heat until shimmering but not smoking. Add the sausage and cook, stirring frequently until browned. When browned well, turn the heat down to medium and remove with a slotted spatula or spoon to a paper towel lined plate. Add the minced onion, celery, pepper, and garlic. Cook, stirring occasionally until vegetables have softened, about 4 minutes. Add the rice and the spices, including the bay leaf. Cook, stirring constantly until the rice grains are coated in fat, about 1 minute. Now add the can of crushed tomatoes and the chicken stock. I like to use a little of the chicken stock to rinse the last of the tomato out of the can. Add the browned sausage. Stir well to combine everything and bring to a boil. Once boiling, turn to low, cover, and set timer for 30 minutes. After 30 minutes, remove the lid, stir, and test some grains of rice for doneness. If the rice is still firm, but most of the liquid has been absorbed, add about 1/2 to 1 cup more chicken broth. Stir in, replace the lid, and cook 10 more minutes. Keep checking the rice doneness, adding a small amount of broth, and cooking covered for 5-minute increments until rice is very close to done. When rice is within 5 minutes of being done, stir in the shrimp. Make sure shrimp are submerged, cover, and cook for 5 to 7 more minutes until shrimp are pink and opaque. By putting them in at the end, we're helping keep the shrimp from becoming overcooked. Once shrimp are cooked, Stir in the green onion and parsley. Garnish with some extra chopped green onion and serve. Thank you so much for joining Food Immerse and exploring different cuisines, ingredients, and cooking techniques. If you enjoyed this video, please hit like and subscribe so you don't miss a single delicious episode. If you make this dish, I would love to hear about it in the comments or shoot me an email. Until next time, cheers to good food.